Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have another OMAS pen here for you to look at today. I added this pen quite recently. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, was slimming down his collection and actually had three OMASs that he just didn't really care for as much as some of his other pens, and decided that he wanted to slim down and sell. He offered them to me first, and one of the pens was this pen that I really wanted to add to my collection. And yes, I did actually buy all three, but this is the pen that really interested me. So if I just lift the box here, you'll see one great thing about OMAS is I love these insides, these velvety type inscriptions. Italian creativity, history, craftsmanship, the pleasure of writing, and I agree. OMASs are really good writers. And it's a shame that OMAS in recent years had gone under. Now, as of August 2018, there's been an announcement that OMAS may be making a comeback under new ownership. I really hope they do, and I really hope with all of the existing machinery that they can restart some of the production line and continue churning out some really nice pens and make a healthy profit from it. So this is one of the pens, and this is an OMAS 360 in the Grey Cotton Resin. Now this is quite an interesting pen because, as you can see here, it's a triangular pen, and it's not necessarily an easy pen to write with. At least that's how a lot of people feel. And it also has this very sort of sweeping clip. So let me just move this box out of the way, and I'll show you a little bit more detail. So this is the OMAS 360 in Grey Cotton Resin, and it really is a nice pen. Now these are actually becoming quite rare to get hold of now. You can get hold of 360s, but I don't see many, if any, of these grey cotton resins. It's a piston filler, so you have the piston knob here, and again it's a pyramid or a triangle. So now it has a push-pull cap because obviously it's with this triangular design you can't unscrew it easily. So you just pull to unclip, and then I'll show you here. Actually, just bring this in, might be easier to see. You can see the nib here. Now, the reason why I wanted this nib, or this pen, was because if I turn it around here, you'll see it's an OM, or oblique medium nib. Now, I have never had an oblique medium nib, or any oblique nib before. I believe because I rotate my nib, so when I'm writing, I actually rotate it slightly to the right. So I tend to put a little bit more pressure on the right-hand tine on the nib. So it's always been suggested that a oblique nib would actually be more useful to me. So I decided I wanted to try this one out, and I'll show you the oblique part of the nib here if I can. It is a little bit difficult to see, but if I can hold it straight enough, you may be able to see there's a slight angle. So basically the nib is slightly taller. The tip of the tines is taller on one side, but it's a lovely writer, and I'm really glad that I was able to pick this up. And I've wanted a 360 for a while. One of my dear friends, Tony, has a 360, and he's been trying to push me to get a 360 for a while. So when this actually came up from a close friend, I decided, yeah, I'm going to get this, especially because it has this medium nib. I like mediums, broad stubs, and because it was an oblique medium, I thought I would get it. And my only concern was this going to be a nib or a pen where I find I just cannot write with? And for several reasons. One is because I've never used an oblique nib before, and then the other is this triangular grip. Now, I don't have any problems with Lamy nibs where you have to have this triangular grip. Now, I tend to hold my pens like this. Each person holds them differently. Now, when I do that, I'm actually now trying to grasp this edge here. And so what I now have to do is actually move my middle finger under it, which is a little different, and that's not normally how I would write so much. But it's something that I'm getting used to with this pen. But I do love this pen. As with a lot of OMAS pens, this nib writes very wet. It's a joy to write with. You have the Greek key band here, like you have on all OMASs. The base of the section here, and like I said, it is a piston filler here, so you have the piston knob which can be turned. I'm not going to turn it much because it's just going to let ink out everywhere, and that's something I don't want to do right now. But this is a lovely pen, and I'm so glad, since I actually picked this up, I'm so glad that I was able to add it to my collection, because it is a lovely pen and it writes beautifully well. So in terms of length, let me check here. The whole length of the pen, we're looking at about 150 millimeters. The cap is about 67 millimeters. And then the section from the nib, tip of the nib to the end, we're looking at about 132 millimeters. So it's quite a nice pen. Now, in the size of my hand, this is how it looks. It's a very lightweight pen, or fairly lightweight, I would say. I can post the cap if I want to. Becomes a bit of a wand, and it's not something I really want to do, but I don't feel really much more weight when doing so, but it is a lovely pen. So let's do a weight check as well. So the entire pen weight, and this is fully inked by the way, is just under 27.5 grams. The cap itself is just over 10 grams. And then the body is fully inked, it's just over 17 grams. So 17 grams for a pen is actually a good weight. It's not too light and it's not too heavy. So for me, this is a lovely pen that I really do like, and I'm so glad that I was able to add it to my collection. So I think let's do a writing sample. So this is the OMAS 360, and it has an oblique medium nib, and the ink that I have inked up in this today, which I really do like in this pen, is Pilot, Iroshizuku, Kirisame. Now, the nib does have a little bit of a feedback to it. I prefer more smoother nibs. I think it may be a little bit more to do with the oblique medium, but also with how the nib has been smoothed. But I do like how it writes. That doesn't bother me in any way, shape or form. I can handle feedback on a nib. I just sometimes prefer a nib to be more smoother than more feedback. Now, in terms of line variation, so that was me getting the angle wrong, because it is an oblique medium nib. Now, I can push quite a bit of line variation out here. Now you can see here the horizontals are very narrow. Now if I do the figure of 8, you can see here that there is line variation going on here. Now in terms of wetness, as we've already said, that the horizontal lines are quite narrow in height, and then the vertical lines. So it's OMAS by the nature of OMAS pens are really fairly wet, sometimes very wet. Now, this doesn't disappoint me. Sometimes the ink can make a huge difference. Kirisami isn't necessarily a hugely lubricated ink. It is a little lubricated. But for me, I like how this pen writes. I like that it's an oblique medium nib. It's an original OMAS oblique medium with a gold nib, and it really, for me, works well. I love the shape. I love this swooping clip here on the pen. I do like everything about this. Now, obviously, I'd love it if this 360 was an Arco. Beggars can't be choosers, and to be honest, the OMAS 360s in Arco the price has gone through the roof. If I can pick one up in an Arco at some point, I'd love to do so. But for now, I really do love this pen. So that's the review of my OMAS 360 with an oblique medium nib. Thanks for watching, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.